drink.
I wish I had something like that. New
It's all
Year's Eve I will, but in this house, probably not really. It's
That's all
fine.
right. Yang Yang, what up? It's us,
Hey,
the
Hey.
trio. We are here coming at you guys live Tuesdays at 9. We're gonna try to keep this joint as short as possible and come out, hang out, whatever you guys want to do. Just know that this is the last stream for 2020. Woo!
woo!
We
Fireworks.
made it.
We made it.
Yeah, we've made it. Oh, we've made it. And it's been a wild, crazy ride. And we're just pretty much, basically, this whole stream is we're going to talk about what done went wrong, right in 2020, what to look forward to in 2021, but also answer questions from you guys. So this is a Q&A session as well. So whatever questions that you guys want to ask us, now is your opportunity to do so. As my mom would always tell me, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Hold your peace. Yes.
Hey, Anna's in the house.
Hey. So,
Hey. Sorry, my screen went away for a second, so I was like, what happened? Yes. Thank you for joining us.
You are
Yeah.
good. You are good. Hold on, I'm about to go mute for a second. And so before I go mute, what do you guys think or feel was the highlight of 2020? And it could be anything, whatever comes to mind. What do you guys think was the highlight of 2020? Go for it.
Highlight. Goodness gracious. You guys.
I mean, yeah. Like,
Not like that.
Sounds like you have something to say.
I didn't have a lot. I was just like, honestly, being on the channel has been a lot of fun, something to look forward to, and kind of like keeps you going a little bit. And just sort of seeing the movement, since we are talking. Hey, thank you for joining. It was kind of a nice way that, after the movement seemed to, like, it didn't fizzle, but it was like, oh my gosh, we dropped out. What are we doing with our campaign? To kind of see things in motion on both the Humanity Forward end was nice, but then also the grassroots end, particularly here with us in MCOY. So I do think this was a really good sort of like breakthrough of the year, where it was just like, hey, we have this platform and we can do whatever. Personally, I mean, COVID was COVID, so there wasn't a whole lot. Like, I also would say that my work, I had a lot of hard assignments, sort of just like a lot of projects that had to get done by the end of the fiscal year, because of my work is like government funded type stuff. So the fiscal year ended September 30th, and oh my gosh, I can't tell you the kind of weight that was relieved in October once that was finished. And I was like, I can breathe again. It hasn't been always easy since then, but it was at least much needed. I was able to take care of some personal things and just things in life. And yeah, I would say those are some pretty good highlights. It just went by so fast, honestly, that it's hard to pin like one big thing. It was more like we survived, and that in itself is a highlight.
Yeah, for sure.
Facts. We survived. Big time.
Big time.
Question for you. Hey.
Thank you, President.
Hey.
President Daddy's in the house.
In the house.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year in advance. Elle, for you, did you have a big highlight, or was it kind of like a smush of everything or some things?
I guess a bit of both. Like Toby said, definitely just surviving was a highlight. Like there were just days, weeks, months when like you'd hear something, like, oh, November 3rd or whatever the hell the day was for when we had to vote. and then it would just feel so far away. It's like
Mhm.
60 days, a lot can happen in 60 days. There's gonna be so many deaths. There's gonna be so many, like, that's what I was thinking. I'm a, like an apocalyptic, cynical thinker. So
It's all good.
I'm not always thinking of, the happiest of thoughts.
Mm.
But, like, I am happy about the results of the election. That was definitely a highlight for me because I was just like,
Mm.
please, God, like, please, I can't. Another 4 years, I just cannot, especially with coronavirus on top of that.
Facts.
I mean, I guess one of the biggest highlights of my year was going viral on Twitter.
Hey.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, like that was crazy. Because I literally just like tweeted that. It was like a Friday night, and so clearly I was doing a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was a great thing too, just meeting a lot of new friends, different, like a lot of new people on Twitter. So that was like a sort of like a blessing in disguise when it came to going viral. And like a
Mm.
lot of people started following me, and I started following a lot of people, and it was just really cool. Like it definitely it definitely helped me get through the year because it's not
Good.
like if I didn't go viral, it'd be worse, but it's definitely better. Just being able to engage with more people, Twitter kind of became more fun. But no, that was really, really cool. That was definitely like a big highlight of the year. You know, Definitely joining MCOY, talking to Andrew Yang, that was a huge highlight. That was really awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to agree with you guys. I can't just say like there was just one specific thing because there was just
Right.
a bunch. Like the main thing that pops up was getting this channel up and started and running, and to be able to stream it to multiple platforms. It was like, wow, nice. Being able to engage with Gang all over, and just hearing different people's perspectives, and being able again survive 2020 in the midst of this pandemic, and coming out, with some bruises. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah.
Came out with some bruises, with some scars,
Mhm.
but those bruises and scars, I believe, will help me to face 2021. And especially now that we actually finally got Humanity Forward Michigan kicked off. Yes!
Oh snap!
Yes.
Yes.
We got Twitter going, we got Facebook going, we got
Oh
a
snap!
website. Oh yeah, we doing the thing. Oh,
Okay.
we're doing it between me, boys, guy named Kevin Lee out of Michigan. The three of us were coming together. We got some help from Catherine from HF Mass, Key from HF Mass, Humanity Forward. You guys don't understand, and Gray from Humanity Forward. He's been helping out a lot too as well. So shout out to those three. They've been helping out a lot. So that we got that going on. We're excited. We're ready. We're ready to take on 2021 and just get this ball rolling. We just met up with a contact from Rank My Vote, Michigan. From Rank My Vote, they're a group in Michigan that's wanting to put ranked choice voting in the Michigan ballot come 2022.
Yes.
So we just met up with them a few nights ago, and that conversation has been amazing. And so we're going to do some big things here. Michigan is y'all better get ready. If y'all ain't y'all better get y'all first row tickets now.
Michigan about to pop off.
Oh yeah.
It was already a great year for Michigan too.
Huh?
It was already a great year for Michigan too.
Yes, man. Come on. They done try to impeach my governor. Man, y'all better get out of here.
Oh, so that actually was an attempt. I didn't know if that happened for real.
Oh yeah, dude. I tell you this much. They done tried to get signatures to get this woman impeached. Like, she helped Michigan's numbers drop in accordance with the health department and everything else. Like, she's been kicking butt. She's the main one that's been pressing on Trump. Like, hey, you ain't just gonna come in here and say some sleaziness out the side of your neck and think I'm gonna take it. Nah, like my people mean way too much to me. I was picked to serve them. That's what I'm doing. I'm serving them. She should have said the ones that got common sense and the ones that could think right. But anyways, you know, she was the one that said, nah, it's either you're going to do it this way or the highway. And at the same time, it's like she's been doing the most right now. Like for real. She's been doing the most. And then also with the election, is like, holy crap, like, dude, I'm gonna need y'all to pull through. Michigan pulled through with that clutch.
It came through clutch. Nail biter.
Yes. You know, and I see good things happening. You know, I'm expecting better things to happen in 2021, leading into 2022. So we got some things going. I know that I think probably it was like some months ago. Boyce was in here, Mindful Skeptics. If you guys didn't know, me and him, we were talking about running. However, we can't do that due to the fact that Michigan's going through a redistricting process in 2021. So anybody that's trying to run, we got to wait till the end of December of next year to figure out what districts we're going to be in, because there could be a chance and opportunity and a possibility that me and him could be in the same district. We don't know. So
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
it'll be cool. It'll be so cool because we figured this out. Like, look, if we both run, one of us got to make it. And if they get the both of us in there, we causing all kinds of messes in mayhem. We're going in. Right? Oh yeah, that's what we're doing. So again, for those that are joining in, welcome. Melanated Counseling Gang, MCOY. We are at you live. This is Q&A session. Drop your questions in the chat. We will answer your questions, but just make sure they're friendly questions. I'll put it to you like that.
That's a good way to word it.
Make sure they're friendly, because I ain't trying to ban nobody. Like, I already had did that like once. It's 2020. We're trying to go on 2021 on a good note, on a good foot. So ask any questions, put them in the chat, and let's have that. Let's see what kind of questions you guys have that you want to ask us. Trying to get like a different perspective, things of that nature. While you guys, just not too crazy. It could be crazy, but not too crazy.
Right.
The good faith. Let's ask questions in good faith and come from a good place. Obviously, we talk about all types of topics, and we're not afraid of straying into some things that are slightly controversial. But let's act in good faith. Let's just say that.
Let's see, Emmy Donovan. We don't know. Because I'm in the 59th district in Michigan, and I think Boyce is in like the 79th or 69th district of Michigan. And so once the maps got changed over in next year, then we'll see. And so for anybody that's running in Michigan, it's almost like a standstill, which sucks. Like, you guys waited until now to do this. Like, okay, woohoo. So we don't know. Yeah. And so again, me and Boyce, we already said that, like, we're running. We just gotta wait and see what the heck is our districts, what we're running in, and figure out what we're gonna run for and all other good jazz, and we'll go from there. So we will talk more about that as that time approaches. So that's cool. So while the chat is getting their questions out, let me ask you guys this question.
Okay.
What was your favorite episode we done as far as this whole channel been created? We could go from either Forward United with James and Heidi, or even here. Like, what was your guys' favorite episode?
I have two. Mine was the episode with Roberto Blake, the financial literacy. Like,
Mhm.
I've shared that with friends and family, and it's just one of my favorites. It was just like just like a wealth, just like a fountain of knowledge that was just so necessary. Just opened my mind to
Mhm.
like what I can do. Especially since I'm just like working from home. It's like, oh, there's probably like other streams of income I can do rather than just doing my job and just existing every day of my life. It's
Come
like,
on.
oh yeah, I could be making more money in other facets. And my other favorite episode was the being black in the yin gang. Just the other day. It was just nice to just get that off my chest because it was just like, where else can I share this? I didn't want to just have a long ass thread on Twitter
There you go.
and just get shitted on maybe. Or
Nah,
maybe embraced. I don't know. But yeah, those are my favorites.
yeah. Boom. There we go. Toby.
I mean, those two were very good episodes. I actually rewatched. I don't really rewatch a lot of the episodes actually. Really at any point, but I did rewatch the Being Black in the Yin Gang episode like a week after or so, and I was like, I just enjoyed. It was weird to hear myself talk, but it was just like I enjoyed. It was really cool though, just to be like, yeah, this is like how the conversation went. It was nice to have. It was Nick, right? Nicholas.
Yeah, Nicholas Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
it
was
was.
awesome.
I like having other people on. So another one that I liked a lot too. Roberta Blake definitely was like one of the top. I briefly forgot about that episode. Like, that's one I actually need to rewatch and also share with people. But I know one that I liked too was we talked about gentrification.
Yes.
That was probably one of the first times we did go really long, and it was Gray, who last minute and a few hours before I called him. I was like, bro, can you help, brother? Can you help us out? And then even Yeshua, because I think at one point he had said he was already interested in coming back on. So having them on was like, oh snap, this is cool. And the topics were so close to home because you see how housing prices have skyrocketed, greater Boston area, and right now I'm in Maryland, and the DC prices are really Northern Virginia is the place that's gotten really ridiculous. So kind of having that conversation was really good.
Right.
Yeah, I would say those are some of my favorite episodes. I think it's interesting to talk when it's about some of the more cultural things like cultural appropriation, and just kind of seeing what people think about some of these things, because these are the things where people really go in on the culture war. And I've always been like, screw the culture war. I don't want your culture war. But I think it's interesting to go just like head on and be like, what do people think about cultural appropriation? What do people think about identity politics and pandering and some of these things that are more buzzwords, but it's like, let's actually break down what these things are. So I liked a lot of those episodes where it was like, we're just going to jump in and give our smartest take on things that are typically not exactly talked about in good faith.
Facts. You're right. I think the two that I enjoy, probably favorite, maybe three, I would say is the two that we had Jermaine Johnson on. I think it was what was it? Because I know we basically kind of did like a campaign stream for him. Not necessarily like a campaign stream, but more so we had him on. We were talking about a better way, finding a better way. There we go. Finding a better way. That one was like awesome. And then I think we brought him back on again, and we kind of talked about like being in a black household and whatnot. Or what was it like living in black? I think that's what that episode was, because I remember having him on twice. Yes, Jermaine. Oh, talking about a guy with a wealth of knowledge from a different perspective. Yes, if y'all haven't seen that one, watch that one again. Especially finding a better way. That one, yes, and the one with the financial literacy. With Roberto Blake, yes, that was a good one up there. It taught me a lot, and especially understanding that when it comes to the stock market with the prices and the highs and the lows, like off of Schoolhouse Rock, buy low, sell high, find a piece of the pie, get your piece of the pie, that clicked. And to have him articulate that in a way where like it made sense and it actually helped me out in my own. So, it's been great. I mean, hey, I made $10 on a few stocks here and there. I'm happy. I'm great. So it just lets me know that as long as I do that much and keep an eye on things, and when things tend to turn around, I'll probably sell them and get double for what I paid for. Just all depends on what I buy and what I invest in and how long I decide to keep it in. So
Right.
Those are mine. Those are mine. So, Emmy, if y'all running, what's the basic platform and slogan? That's a good one. Due to the fact that a lot of things that I see in my county, there needs to be a huge change. I hear and I understand that the Republicans here in my county, they tend to want things to stay the same, easy going, but they still neglect the fact that there's real issues and real problems that is facing this county. And to kind of give everybody a perspective, there's not a whole lot of Black people that live in St. Joseph County. I'm gonna just put it like that. Out the whole county itself, there's about a population of maybe 17%. 17% are Black. Okay. The city of Three Rivers has the most population of Black folks living in it. And so break that number down, I think the number is like maybe 10% of the population in Three Rivers is Black. Maybe a little bit less than that, but it's still a higher number than all the other cities that surrounds Three Rivers that make up St. Joseph County. So putting that into perspective is like there's not a lot of Black representation. There's not, and to be able to say, hey, we need a change because the route that we're going in now is not it. I mean, yes, I get it. We want education. We want the economy to be good. We want our ecosystem to be great. We want to save the environment. But right now, people need this. And because this pandemic has hit us, it's literally exposing the fact that people need money to survive. And the jobs that are out there, it's not enough to sustain them. It's not enough to keep them going. And so if I had to run, slogan be, I don't know what the slogan be, but the basic platform, honestly, put people first. Put people first. And go from there. Work it out in a way where people will understand, like, look, I'm not wanting to get corporate dollars. I want to earn your dollars. I want to be able to go to, let's say, the commissioner's office and say, hey, we need to find a way to get some money for mental health services because it's needed. We need to find a way to get some money or get some resources pulled in to be able to do substance abuse, to be able to curb that. We need to find ways of helping people that are incarcerated on non-violent, drug charges, get them out, get them some help so they can get back in society. We need to find ways to end this school to prison pipeline and find a way to deter it. There's got to be a better way because the route that we're heading in right now, we're literally setting up the next generation for failure. Literally, we're setting them up for failure. And we need to do better. As a county, we need to do better. Is it rural? Yes. But at the same time, we understand that there's a lot of homelessness that goes on, that's happening, that goes unnoticed. We need to address that. We need to have people that have some kind of peace of mind that no matter what happens, I'm still going to get a check on top of my normal check. And if I lose my job, I'm still going to get a check to be able to live off of and to be able to do something with it, even if it means, I have just enough to pay for a roof over my head until I can find another job. Okay, then, I have a roof. I can go get on some food stamps and use the government for the things that I need. And so when I get on my feet, thank you, but I still get my check to come in. This is going to help me out. That's what the government is supposed to do, is to help those out when they need it. And obviously, our government has failed us. Our local government has failed. And so that's why I'm running. And that's basically my platform. Put people first. And
let's go.
Give them some money. Give these people some money. That's what they want. Give them some money. Let them figure out what they want to do with it, and let bygones be bygones. So, Emmy, that's my platform. That's my slogan.
Okay.
Lit.
People first.
As it should be.
Yes. And yes, people are the economy. Any more questions? Let's see. Oh yeah.
Oh, look at this engagement. Yeah, man, only 2 months. I feel like you've just been like such an integral part of this thing.
I feel like it's been longer than that. 2 months ago, was it October? Really?
Yeah, that was right before the election. Crazy.
Yeah. Jeez, yeah, that's wow.
Wow.
Yeah, because we had Darius from Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, not Darius, the Aquarius. My bad, y'all. If he's watching, my bad, bro. My bad.
Oh yeah.
Aquarius.
Yeah.
Yes. So tomorrow.
Hey.
We hope you have the best year. Yep. He said it was in October.
Okay.
It was in October, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because I think a lot of states' primaries had just finished up around about that time, and a lot of people were kind of were kind of stuck on the fence on whether or not they're going to vote this year, even though yes, the candidates suck. Agreed, which is why we're going to try to push for ranked choice voting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
oh my gosh, y'all. Yes.
I mean, if Mass was able to do it, everybody in the United States should be able to do it. I think there's like one state that actually has it on the ballot. I think it's like Maine or something like that.
Maine and Alaska apparently also did it. And Deep Red Alaska seems to surprise us with their oil dividend, the ranked choice voting. And Massachusetts defeated it by 10 points. Like, what are y'all doing with your lives?
No, I agree.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's
weird that it was just earlier this year. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, it feels like yesterday that I was out campaigning in Michigan and knocking on people's doors like, hey, there's a guy named Andrew Yang wants to give you $1,000 for the rest of your life. What other issues do you need? What other issues would you like to be addressed so he can figure out how to solve it? Boom. And go from there. It's like awesome. Come on, chat. Y'all feed us questions. We're gonna keep on talking and reviewing and whatnot. So looking back over actually this is gonna be interesting. Looking back over the year and whatnot. How do we make getting involved in politics more appealing? Trying to pump people up from Twitter only goes so far. This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. Who wants to answer this? Because we can all three of us can answer this. You can get three different. You're going to get three different perspectives, but I think by the end of this question, you're going to hear it 3 times over. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. For one of our streams with Heidi Briones, who ran in Oregon, one of the things she said that always stuck with me, that I always try to tell everyone, is just to meet people where they are. One of the things that AOC did, which was genius, was to have like an Among Us fundraiser Twitch stream thing. I believe they raised like over $400,000 or something. And that should just be something that I'm sure, you know, they were probably thinking about doing that for the longest, but there was probably like, you know, hesitance or, you know, whatever. Maybe not, I don't know. But, you know, like just meet people where they are. People are on Twitch. So, you know, stream on Twitch, do something to raise awareness. People are on YouTube. It's one of the reasons why we created this channel. People are on YouTube. So, you know, try to make a YouTube channel or get on somebody's YouTube channel and try to promote. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit can only go so far. But, you know, definitely continue doing that. Go to local political things, like a local, like Democratic city council meeting, or, you know, Democratic meeting. Try even going to your Republican meeting. Like just see like what's going on in the area. If there's even like Puerto Rican Democrats Club of Michigan, you know, try going to that. Even if you're not Puerto Rican, like who the hell cares?
Hey.
But yeah, definitely just meet people like where people are. Go there. Try not to be afraid. If it's Black people, go there, no matter what your race is. You know, we don't bite. We speak English.
I bite.
I'm dead.
Well, most of us don't. You'll be relatively safe. You know, go to Puerto Rican, Latin group, Asian group, because like they do exist. You know, you could probably find them on Facebook. They probably have a Facebook group. So yeah, I'd say just meet people where they are, where they congregate. And if it's definitely political leaning, do that. Or even if it's not, but you could try to, you know, inch them towards it. Maybe not a particular candidate, but maybe ranked choice voting or marijuana legalization, or, you know, things that are a little more friendly, you know, like more bipartisan. Maybe just like try to introduce that, say like, oh, you know, I'm trying to put a ballot on the, you know, or try to put a amendment on the ballot, or whatever the hell the term is, you know, for the next election. You know, would you be interested in signing this thing? They'll most likely be like, oh, legalization of marijuana, of course. So yeah, just long story short, meet people where they are.
Facts. That was a good episode too. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I had to rewatch that one because I know I came in late on it. But man, so I mean, I already see good things in the chat, Che. With Among Us, that would be a really great idea to just kind of like get on whatever the kind of trends are. So I think people were even saying at one point to have a stream with like Blizzard. Blizzard came under fire because of some stuff with China and the and Hong Kong and censorship in America and the NBA. There's a whole lot of mess. So, but there was one point people were telling Yang like, hey, you should go and basically do some kind of fundraising stream on Twitch. You know, I mean, people get really popular. Like, there's a lot. Like, Twitch and esports is like one of the biggest platforms. Actually, more money gets raked in from that now than traditional sports, from what I've heard. So if you can like go, that's one place, because I feel like you can find some pretty apolitical people. I mean, of course, you have the Joe Rogan podcast. You have a lot of these areas which you have people who might not traditionally be involved in politics, but like you can be a likable enough person, come across smart and sensible, and push your issue. And I feel like you would get a pretty good reception. So being able to go into like some of those spaces on the internet, I'm trying to think of like, because Elle, you said like a lot of good things in terms of like finding local groups. So what are the issues that are cared about the most? I actually saw an article that talked about digital organizing and strategizers, and how like the Democrat Party has kind of tapped into a new resource where there's like so many, they were kind of revamping their technology and trying to find a way to link with existing grassroots organizers and basically co-opt the cause, for better or for worse. But like a lot of Democrat candidates were getting good fundraising because there are already people who are organized around environmental issues, around immigrant advocacy rights issues, about all these different issues. And so it came pretty easy to like raise funds off of some of these. So what is important in your community? Is it a community with a lot of immigrants? Is it a place where environmental issues matter a lot? You have maybe a lot of waste. Like I know there's some places in Michigan, like the most polluted zip codes in the country are in Michigan, or at least the one most polluted. And so if people care a lot about those issues, I mean, Flint, of course, is like ground zero for infrastructure failures and other types of issues. I mean, there's a lot of issues outside of just the technical issues. There was a lot of political problems. So if you can like link with some of those groups and just kind of show your face there, I mean, the idea of Humanity Forward was they wanted to be a mainstay in the community. We're not exactly all ambassadors of Humanity Forward, but we could still kind of, name drop some of these like truth bombs as we're like linking up with whatever important causes exist, whether it's environmental, immigration, criminal justice is a big one, and especially in a lot of Black communities, and other communities, but especially there. And so you could also talk about, well, what helps prevent recidivism, right? What helps for recidivism? Having a guaranteed income when you come out of jail. Like there's so many things where you can kind of like find the activists and organizers who already care about issues and then kind of quote unquote show them the light about how cash relief, basic income, as well as other things that were humanity forward, humanity first type policies, how they would actually help, link in pretty well. So you kind of just have to go where those people are, find what those issues are. I mean, some of those people are already active. So I guess the unfortunate part is that some of those people already were people who were planning on voting, but some of them weren't. Some of them are just people who care about a lot of these issues on the grassroots, and maybe they're not a fan of either establishment party. So you could say, well, let's build a grassroots network together. Even if you're not someone who likes the system, we have ideas that are outside the system, and then you can kind of build broader support that way. Yeah, no, I mean, this whole campaign was sort of like an experiment in how you can like run a campaign with basically zero influence from the mainstream media and any establishment. And so like there's a lot of lessons to be learned and things to be expanded from the Yang campaign, and just the creativity and how you can do things very unconventionally and build support in a way that people find refreshing and common sense. So kind of a broad answer, but just some thoughts that I had there.
Yeah. And Anna, I'm gonna piggyback off of what Toby has said, what Elle has said, and basically is find people where they're at, meet them exactly where they're at, because you'll be surprised how many people have the same issues like you do, and they have solutions, but they're afraid to articulate them in a way where to them it may not make sense. To them they may sound crazy, but to you it's like, no, you're not crazy. Yes, that makes sense. Yes, I agree exactly what you're saying. Let's get together. One of the great things that I did this year was get involved in my local Democratic Party here in St. Joseph County. Got involved, and even just sitting down and talking with the chair and introducing the idea of, hey, we need to get UBI fast, because the way how this pandemic is hitting, it's not going to let up, and a lot more people are going to be out of work. Unemployment is not going to be a guarantee, and people just need money to survive. We can, toe the line as much as we want to and only go with the party things, but at the same time is like they're going to need money. They're going to need cash relief. And if Congress does not get off their butts and do something about it, we're never going to get that. We're going to see homelessness out the wazoo, poverty out the wazoo, jobs out the wazoo, closing, businesses closing, the mom and pop shops that's been around, gone, and again, just articulating that UBI, just dropping that seat. And even then, later on this year or later on during the year, once everything kind of subsided, there's another group that I'm in. It's a rural progressive caucus. And again, I dropped the seat again. Hey, Let's talk about UBI. We're already seeing the after effects of this pandemic. People are going to need money. Let's talk money. Let's talk what people understand and know. Let's talk money. How much money do you actually need per month to live? Let's see what we can do and go ahead and get that implemented. And even just trying to do it through the city and let the mayor sign off on it and be one of the cities within the county to go ahead and get it done. Let's do it. Or even if we do it countywide, again, let's do it. The money's there. The people need it. Give it to them. There's no harm in giving people money, And oh man, Manny, yes, this is so true. This is so true. And that's the kind of the reason why I liked the chair before she left. She moved. But the reason why I liked talking with the chair was due to the fact she understood where I was coming from, because she understood that people are going to need money to survive, and people are going to need money to donate to campaigns, and campaigns need those funds to survive, to pay for ads, for this, for that, especially if we got the Michigan Democratic Party who ain't paying out squat to the rural counties who could possibly win if they had some money in their pockets. But again, they haven't figured out that picture yet. So we're just going to have to do it ourselves, which is why we got Humanity Forward going. Boom. I'm telling you, like the things I've learned this year to help people to understand that you're like Manny said, you already are interested in politics. You just don't know it yet. Mm-hmm. You're already having the conversations about it. They're political. You're going to need some political muscle to back it up. Get involved. That's probably like the best way. Get involved. Talk to people and everything else. Even supporting the local candidate. That was another thing that I suggest to do, and which I've done. We done canvas, we done phone bank, text banked, like whatever event that she was at. I was probably, if I could make it, I was there, as a support, because of the fact that she understood that she was running in a very red county. But at the end of the day, at the end of her race, not only did she raise the most out of any Democratic candidate that ran, she had the most votes out of any Democratic candidate, period, to run in a red county. And that says a lot.
Wow.
That says a lot. I mean, her opponent won by like 8,000, but even still to herself, she earned like 8,000 votes to herself. So it just goes to show that it's the potential is there. We just got to get out there and reach them where they're at. Unfortunately, because of COVID and whatnot, we decided to kind of take things a more so safer route. But I believe that once 2022, 2024 rolls around and whatnot, I'm thinking we're probably going to be a lot more aggressive in that approach and narrow that gap a whole lot more and understand, like, hey, I'm here to support you. I'm here to do things for you. The pass things are going to help you out in your generation, in your kids' generation, in your grandkids' generation, because obviously the folks at Lansing, they're not getting it. They're not. So we're going to do what we got to do to make that happen. And it just pretty much just go from there. Just meet people where they're at and get involved. Get involved. As my man Boyce, Michael Skeptics will say, get involved and do something. Just do something. It don't matter what it is, as long as it's positive. Do something. I think that might be his slogan. If I know him, that's probably going to be his something. Do something. Do something. Like, no, we're doing something. So that's that little tidbit and everything else.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, need to help you with. True. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And even like talking to like those folks that lean Republican, yes, that talk was like tremendous. You know, they're looking at me like, okay, what is this young black kid hanging around a state representative? Like, what is he doing? What does he know? And she was like, oh, he knows a lot more than what you give him credit for. You give him excuse me, you give him 5 minutes of your time, he might mess around and make you think a different totally way. Like, there was one time we had a donuts with the Democrats, and some guy came up, he was talking to her, he saw me, he's like, so can I ask you a question? He's like, are you an excuse me, he's like, are you an activist or are you actively involved in your community? And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, I'm actively involved in my community because I see the crap that is going on that is not working and I want to help solve it. He's like, I like that answer. He's like, I like that answer a lot. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, it makes no sense for us to have this much money sitting on that's not being dispersed. It makes no sense. It makes no sense why businesses are not flourishing the way that they are. It makes no sense. It makes no sense that we make it harder for people to get housing and to find jobs, and yet we expect them to jump hurdles when it comes to election time. Like, it makes no sense. Like, nah, that got to change. That has to change. And so we sat there, we talked for like 15, 20 minutes, and he was like, dude, I could talk to you all day. He's like, but I understand you got a thing to do. I got things to do. Like, will I be seeing you again? I'm like, if the Lord says the same, yes. If not, it was good talking to you anyways. So those are my two thoughts. Yes. 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 Hey, Trump of Game Podcast, what's happening, homie?
Hey, I just watched your that panel. It was a great panel with all the big heavy hitters. Heidi from Yang Vets, Boyce, Paget and Steve, not to mention Tom from Nerds for Yang. That was a really good panel that you hosted on Should Yang Run for New York City Mayor or third party? And that, of course, that conversation has been gone a lot, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But I think you guys did bring up some good points about the third party. I mean, I'm not necessarily for the third party option, but I do think that there has to be a way that people can talk about ideas without it being attached to a party at all. I mean, obviously that's why ranked choice voting and being on the ballot should be like a national priority.
Yeah.
Actually, I was on one of those Humanity Forward calls where it's like a Zoom call. You can't really it's a Zoom call, but it doesn't really it's like one of the panels where you can only see the people on the panel, you can't see everyone's face. So like they were basically giving an update like 2 weeks ago, I think, of what they were going to be doing nationally, and they talked about the progress they had done with introducing a bipartisan bill in the House. So this wasn't the Bernie Sanders, Josh Hawley bipartisan Senate bill. It was two other reps, Virginia West Republican, West Virginia Republican, and a lady from Delaware. So it was interesting to see that. And they were talking about how Yang was planning to come out for ranked choice voting in a big way. I mean, that's what he said. He was like, I'm going to come out for ranked choice voting in a huge way in 2021. I'm wondering what that's going to look like if he drops his hat as a mayor. But I would love to see a national campaign around ranked choice voting, around basically all the government reforms, or all the voting electoral reforms. There's some nice ones like automatic voter registration. I know New York just signed a bill for that a few days ago. So, or they're getting ready to. And New York was one of those where like if you didn't sign if you're not registered by a certain day, you're done. And it's like, why are you all doing that? Just sign people automatically, give people a long time to vote. The more people that can get into the system and like attached once makes it easier to keep getting engaged. And I know some people are not necessarily for this idea, but even if the voting age is lower, like I know California is experimenting where you can vote if you're 17 as long as you're 18 by the general election. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep finding a way to push it back. And I don't know if there's really anything constitutionally that says you have to be 18 years old. So I think trying to get people who are young also involved and making more of a community effect where these issues can actually be attached to communities and you have more kind of real deep discussion about these topics that are beyond just the sound bites. So the youth are important. I know Erica, of course, in her congressional run in California, she's been engaging the youth a lot, like really, really young people. And I think that that's a really good idea, because I know there's so many people, including reps in Congress, like Jim Clyburn, who are like, my daughter loves Yang. My son loves Yang. Like, there are all these people who are like, the young people love him. So maybe I should see what he's about. So that's another way, is trying to like get people attached sort of outside of the regular power structure, and then hopefully that will push other people.
I mean, that is a good way of promoting someone. I know that the Lincoln Project, their way of trying to convince people to vote for Joe Biden was to try to attack the wife, try to convince the wife of a Republican first. It's like it's usually easier to change the woman's mind, and then the woman will therefore convince the man. So I thought that's a pretty good idea to like maybe with like the child, to probably convince the parents.
I see that. And then it's funny too, because before my kids' school, before our city got wrecked with COVID, I was talking to my son about Andrew Yang, and I guess he did something at school and whatnot, and he almost kind of did like a presentation to his class in a way. He was like, yeah, like this is Andrew Yang. He wants to give everybody $1,000. My dad supports him. He likes him, and yeah, I think Andrew Yang is cool. Like if he's wanting to give people money because everybody works for a living, yet they still don't have enough money to survive on, and he's willing to give people money to survive on. He's like, why not? Mind you, he's only, at the time, 12, 13. So it was like, oh, so you do listen. Yeah. Like, yes. But I get it. And again, ranked choice voting, yes, you're absolutely right, because at least it gives people an option. It gives people an option. Like, if these other two candidates suck, then I want to go with somebody else who I actually like, and hopefully they get enough votes to be able to be liked, to be likable, to be able to win. I think I heard somebody say there's a star system that's up there, whereas like the people are getting chosen based on their ratings. The higher the ratings, the more likely they're going to get voted in. That's a smart idea. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I think Boyce, Trumpet for Yang, Dennis, Boyce mentioned that some days ago during one of our meetings. He brought that up, and so I'm like, that's smart. That is a really smart idea, because if your rating is not favorable with people, more than likely people are not going to vote for you. They're not going to like you, especially if it's predicated upon your time of service and what you've done and how you voted, whether it was for the people or for the corporations. That should be put into play as well. And so that was like, I'm with that for sure. And I think more and more, yes, this is true. And I think that what was I gonna say? I think more and more states, they're going to start embracing ranked choice voting as long as there's other states that have it in play and it's been working. Like, case in point, Colorado was one of the first states to legalize marijuana, and then other states around the nation started following suit. And now you're seeing more states looking at not only the revenue from the taxes from marijuana, but like, okay, if we make it legal, will that mean more and more people will stop getting busted on the streets? Will that decrease the prison population? And since we're taking it that step further, should we look at our prison population now and pardon those who are in there for non-violent drug-related crimes and get them out and get them some help? That opens up that door now. So there's a lot that goes in. So I mean, ranked choice voting, it's going to take off. Like, yes, I agree with Toby. If Yang does anything, he should do a nationwide campaign for ranked choice voting and partner with states that already have like groups that are trying to get ranked choice voting on the ballots and go from there. That'll be huge.
Yeah. Open primaries was something I hadn't thought about as much, but it came up in the Trumper for Yang podcast, and I like that idea a lot because New Hampshire, of course, has open primaries. Now, that didn't work as well for us as we would have liked, but there's a lot of factors with the whole campaign, and Iowa was a debacle. And I feel like if more states can open to some kind of like nonpartisan primary, I mean, California has a lot of nonpartisan primaries. I mean, of course, Democrats there seem to rule anyway. But I think just having more open primaries or semi-open primaries where you don't have to be registered in this party, you can just kind of be an undeclared. That would be ideal, because I think independents, undeclared as some or unregistered as some states call it, will already outnumber the other parties. So you have to really be mindful of that most people don't want to subscribe, even if you're left leaning or right leaning or whatever. A lot of people just don't want to subscribe. They don't want to have these labels. And I think that could be a big change for many states to have primaries like that. And then the other interesting thing is, I know there's already the People's Party, which is, of course, that was mostly a splintering of like the Bernie faction from the Dem Party. But I'll still be watching them with interest to see how that goes, just because it would be interesting to start getting people in Congress who are just outside of the two parties. So it would be very interesting to see how they have success before we decide for real, like, oh yeah, we're going to have our own like forward party or whatever. At the very least, being able to hijack, quote unquote, the Dem Party, or if there's like a Republican who's like a moderate Republican who's running on a lot of these ideas. And I know there were a few, like Dan Larson from Montana. He had some interesting things, and it would be interesting just to see like people, maybe independents, screw it. You don't even need to be a Republican. Be an independent in a heavily red area trying to run on these things. Just if you can advocate for that open primary and say, like, I'm not attached to these two parties, I think you'll get support just from that alone as well. So I'm looking forward to all these sort of grassroots initiatives that will happen in these states.
I was upset that Florida, the vote for open primaries didn't pass.
Yeah.
Oh, Florida had that? Oh, man.
Yeah. Nobody really talked about it because nobody really knew.
Yeah, there's too much happening this year. Like, it's a miracle that anything passed. I feel like just because, like, there's so much happening. Like, I'm glad Florida did the $15 per hour. Yeah. California, I'm glad California passed Prop 24 with the data privacy. There's just so much that was happening that is a concern. But I mean, then you also had a lot of good ballot measures like medicinal marijuana in Mississippi, recreational marijuana, I think South or North Dakota, and other stuff. So ballot measures can get crowded, but it's a very fruitful way. I think there's 26 states or something, maybe 28. There's a lot, over half. So 26, perfect.
Yeah. And I think that as time rolls on, I'm pretty sure more and more people will get on board, and especially with the outcomes and the choices of the candidates on the ballots. In many states were not the very best in the whole wide world, and so I think more and more people are wanting to embrace change. And yes, I mean, change is hard. Change is getting uncomfortable. But we've said this many, many times before. If you want to grow, you're going to have to get uncomfortable in some way, shape, or form. You're going to have those talks. You're going to have those discussions and realize that there's more going on. There's more at stake than what we could think. And so I think that as time goes on, and as people wake up to the idea of being able to have ranked choice voting, to be able to push states to sign or amend the Constitution to lower the voting age, which quite frankly, and again, Trump he put this out there too. He was like, there's 26 states that allow direct initiatives. Like, yes, if you're one of those, I know Michigan is. Michigan's one of those states where, if you want to get an initiative on the ballot, you just need senators. You just need X amount of signatures to get it on the ballot. And as long as it's on the ballot and enough people votes for it, that's going to be added on to that state's constitution. And so a lot of states, they have somewhat flexibility when it comes to a lot of reforms that doesn't take Congress to do. Many states can do that. Henceforth, this is the reason why the Constitution allowed states to have some type of power of their own, and allowed of course, the national to kind of like have powers of its own and not necessarily interfere with the processes that happens in the states, but allow the states to have some kind of freedom to, act accordingly, but make sure that it doesn't supersede the U.S. Constitution. So that's that for there and everything else. So moving on, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to drop those in the chat. This is pretty much how we're going to bring in the new year, which brings to our next question. I know we did a lot of looking back in 2020 and whatnot. 2021 is currently like next door, I would say. It is creeping slowly. What are you guys' plans or thoughts for 2021? Are there any kind of resolutions that got disrupted in 2020 that you want to pursue in 2021?
I guess I might go this time. I'm not even going to pretend like I really pursued resolutions for 2019 this year. Like when this time last year, I don't really remember what my resolutions were supposed to be. Like usually most years I have something. Like, I don't know. This year was just, I guess I just knew that going into this year was going to be a flaming hot mess, but I somehow didn't. I just didn't really prepare real resolutions. Now, going into 2019 was a bit different because I started my first full-time job in 2019, so almost 2 years ago now. But so I kind of came in thinking I'm gonna read all these books, I'm gonna read some history, I'm dead. Oh man, I was gonna watch some documentaries, some things that were Black focused, some things that were just my own personal interest. There were some that were like slightly political that I thought would be interesting to read, but end of 2018 into 2019, I was not following things as much. So I told myself, here's some cool resolutions. I was supposed to learn a few languages.
A few?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Igbo, which is like my ethnic group, my Nigerian ethnic group. So I was gonna try to learn Igbo, that didn't happen really. Like I attempted to do some apps and some resources, but it's something that you really have to like know people in the community and speak it, because there's a lot of dialects to the languages and it's complicated. French was the other one that I wanted to learn, because French is my mom speaks French. Half my family lived in France for a while. So I figured French would be kind of cool. And even though Nigeria is a British colonized country, so it's not like they speak French there. There's a lot of Africans, not to mention Haitians, who speaks French, or at least some version of it. So I thought that would be a cool New Year's resolution. Also didn't happen. I don't think I even opened Duolingo once for French that year. There was just a bunch of random resolutions that just did not happen in 2019. And I tried making time for them, and it was just a lot, especially with work and just not balancing things very well. And then 2020 comes along, and at this point, I'm like spending most of my time following the campaign. I actually started volunteering more. I was canvassing in New Hampshire a little bit. only twice, but both times were basically January, February. So I didn't really spend a lot of time on my own personal, I guess, goals. And then COVID hit, and like it was just crazy. So I feel like 2021, I have to be realistic about what things do I want to do. I actually would say that reading is something that I just love, like learning. I've always been an academic. I love learning new things. And so there are some books that I can read that actually will be pretty useful. So actually one book I tried reading this year was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Just one of those books that people say is a very good book, life-changing. It helps you reanalyze sort of how you see things in your family, relationships, work. Just like you can develop these sort of life-changing habits that are core. And honestly, like I read over half of it. It was good. I just didn't finish it, and I didn't really apply it much to my life. I'll have a list of books that I'll probably post on Twitter. A bunch of books actually I bought in the last few weeks, or books that I downloaded that were like free PDFs that would be good to read in 2021. But I've always had like so many different resolutions that it's hard to say what do I seriously want to do. Not to mention, I've always had ideas for like apps and things to build. Like, oh, this would be an interesting app idea, but I don't know how to actually. I program for a living, but I've never done app development. I've never done web development. So those were always things that I thought would be cool to do. But again, I need the focus, I need the motivation, and those two things always elude me. COVID actually made me almost reconsider my entire life, where I was like, I'm just going to quit my job and become like a freelancer, or become like, I want to just have my own schedule. I don't want to report to anyone. I want my own income. And the talk with Roberto Blake kind of also helped me feel that, but I knew in reality I wasn't gonna. I've already been investing since 2017. You already know. The only thing is I don't invest like as a living, so like I don't buy stocks and trade daily the way people do. I just buy and hold, and I've been lucky that most of my purchases have gone in the right direction. I made some mistakes in marijuana stocks. Because I thought that Canada's legalizing and these states in the US are legalizing, and then just plunge. And Chinese stocks. I also bought some Chinese companies that were doing well, and then the trade war freaking hit, and then those companies have not recovered a lot. But anyway, all that aside, it's hard to say what's like the one big thing, because there are a lot of hobbies, a lot of personal development, professional development, and just fun things that I would like to do, but I never have time to do all of it. And that's why I kind of said I need to quit my job and just work on all this, but that's not real. That's not realistic.
No, I hear you.
Even with basic income, I still would be a ridiculously low pay cut to go from like a software job to 12,000 a year, or at this point the number has come up, but it's still not a lot. Like you're still under 20K a year, and that's not the move.
True. Unless you're like, in an RV, you just, bumming it in an RV. That'll work.
It could, or if you just live on a boat. People do
that'll
that.
work too.
I'm on a boat. Yeah. That works too.
Cool. That works too. I mean, you're out in the middle of some type of water, hopefully not drifting away, but just
like you can dock your boat. Like there's people in South Florida who live in their boats, like in Key West or Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and like there's like little areas where you can like take a shower and stuff like that. But you could literally live in your boat. You just have to pay like the docking fee, which is probably like a monthly rent kind of thing. It's possible. People do that.
That'll work too. See, that's boat life, yacht life. There you go. Elle, what about you?
For my plans for 2021? So, I mean, I feel like 2020 sort of scarred me for what's gone. But I'd say for 2021, usually, from 2015 on, I'd usually try to make just like one word to be like my New Year's resolution, or like one phrase.
Mm.
rather than saying, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's like overwhelming. It's like, why not just, put it into one word or one phrase. I'd say that like my one phrase for 2021 would probably be be okay with being afraid. Be I don't really want to say fearless, because it's okay to do things scared, because that's normal. Nobody goes
Okay.
like when I would do stand up, nobody who goes up and does stand up, no matter if you're a beginner or if you're Dave Chappelle level, nobody is just totally comfortable, totally just not scared at all one bit, So I guess, my New Year's resolution would just like for 2021 to just do things scared, do things afraid, do regardless. Just I'm gonna be afraid, might as well do it afraid. Might as well do it, scared.
That's actually cool. I respect that. That's respectable. That is respectable and commendable. I like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually
that's awesome.
Thank you. Because I just feel like this entire year I was just like so scared.
Yeah, so I had to start laughing.
I love it. Thickly.
Yeah, there we go.
Settled and thick. Settled and thick.
Oh, jeez. It's too
thickly settled.
Thickly settled. That'll work. 2021. Yeah. Thickly settled. I'm just thickly settled in all areas of life.
Don't settle. They say never settle unless you're thickly settled.
Yes, exactly. Thickly settled. Funny, like I have the OnePlus 7 Pro, and like their like motto is never settle. So sometimes when I turn on my phone, it says never settle.
There you go.
Oh man.
So thickly settled. Settle thickly.
I love it.
Thickly.
I'm gonna take one of the signs. I'm gonna like buy a sign or find one and just put it like, I don't know. I'm either gonna put it on my car as a bumper sticker. Or I'm gonna put it on my apartment, or I'm just gonna like have it in my banner on social media and just be like, this is my motto for 2021.
We should make a T-shirt and have it say thickly settled.
Hopefully we don't get sued or anything. But yeah.
Bat Noir. No, don't apologize for that.
No, what are you sorry for?
No.
Yeah, this is hilarious.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, no.
This is good.
But I did want to ask this question. We can, answer it after Ron goes. But I wanted to ask, has there ever been a year where you actually fulfilled your New Year's resolution or resolutions?
Okay, L.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
Man, I've been ready to go. What you talking about? I've been ready to go. I was like, look, 2020 came up like, Jesus, take me now. Take me now. I want to go now. Pick me up on 24s in your sweet chariot, swing low, carry me home. I'm out here. Oh, man, I was ready to go. I'm like, I'm not trying to deal with 2020. No.
Nope.
But he didn't come yet. It's like, okay, fine. Obviously you ain't ready for me either. Like, okay, I respect that. So, yes. But no, plans for 2021. Plans for 2021 or New Year's resolution. And I suck with having a New Year's resolution. Like I do. But I just have goals. I'll put it to you like that. I have goals. Okay. And the one goal that I set for myself, which I actually have accomplished, I'm super stoked about it, was I told myself that in 2021, I'm buying me a Pontiac G8. I'm buying me a Pontiac G8. I'm like, if I get it for my birthday, great. If I can get it for Christmas, great. Like the 1 year, that's the one thing I wanted this year was to get a Pontiac G8. And long and behold, after years of searching and saving and talking and test driving, I got one. I got one.
Oh.
Yes, I got
Oh,
one.
look at that.
And it's everything I wanted. It has everything that I wanted. It has a working sunroof because my old Pontiac, the sunroof sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I got that. It's under 150,000 miles. There's only 133,000 miles on it. Like super clean. The one thing I would probably have to get done will be my struts, but other than that, mechanically sound, it's what I wanted. It's
Great.
everything I wanted. It asked for. It's black, so I'm like, yes, I love that. And I'm like, that's the one. Like that was the one thing I had for 2020 was to get that. I got it, and so now I'm like, okay, if I was able to put all that energy into getting this car, like, man, I want to get a house built. I want to get my credit straight. I want to get land. I already looked at like pieces of land with the missus, and so we got one in mind that we want to get. We want to make sure our credit's right. We want to buy it, get it leveled and cleared out, and so by this time next year, we should be in our house. And we're not, once we get it built up, we're not moving. That's going to be the forever home, and invest more in stocks for real, and actually kind of, do that as like a little side hustle and whatnot. But also to just pushing humanity forward in Michigan, putting that on the map. That's probably going to be the biggest project that I have for myself to see in 2021. I mean, we got pieces coming together and whatnot, but that's pretty much going to be my staple, is getting Humanity Forward Michigan established and become a legal entity in Michigan, so we could be able to do donations, to be able to sell merchandise, to be able to do a whole lot more, and to be able to be like, be the flagship, basically, And even if you look at all the other Humanity Forward states, like logos and whatnot, Michigan stands out because it represents Michigan in its entirety. It does, which I still have to show you guys. But still, to be able to get the groundwork up and running, yeah, it pretty much make that as a force to be reckoned with, a real force to be reckoned with. So 2021 is going to be all about Humanity Forward Michigan. It's going to be all about house, land, credit, stocks, but also using MCOY, using this platform that we have and projecting that further, reaching out to other people, other podcasts, other Yang members, and getting them on board and doing a lot of collaboration, a lot of co-hosting, whatever the case may be. I know that somebody in MCOY suggested, we do a 24-hour stream. I'm like, bruh, I don't know. But again, the way how things are working out now, it's literally going to be, it's literally shaping up very glorious for MCOY. So I'm super excited to see what's going to happen with this channel and see it blow up and be, again, another force to be reckoned with within the Yang game. So that's that. Now, Elle, you probably asked one of the most hardest questions, but at the same time, it is so truthful. So I'm gonna move the G8 aside. I'm not using that example, but another example, what I would say was, I think back in like 2017, 2018. Okay. I think that's when I actually started doing Robinhood, and Robinhood now just gave me like a year, like a flashback from when I actually started. I told myself that I wanted to get it started in the stocks. This is before came in MCOY. Actually, no, I take that back. Take it like 2016, 2017. So I was like, I told myself that I wanted it to start learning about investing in stocks. I want to get well versed in it to the point where I can work from home just by doing stocks alone and ride the curves and do that. And so, I mean, I dabbled in it and everything else, but I made my first investment and it was like, wow, I did that. And, made some other investments that thought were good. And like Toby, they went sour, but I learned from that. And so each year it was one of those things of, okay, let's learn how to ride the curve, reach out to other people, see what other people are buying. And even if you don't buy it, see what's, poking up on the horizons, buy that, and then make a quick profit and sell it while it's still high before it drops, and keep doing that and keep getting better at it and keep finding like when is that sweet spot to capitalize on your investment and make a profit out of it and just keep doing that and keep doing that. And so I've been doing that for years. And so this year, I think it was the year where I actually invested a little bit more and I made a lot of more and I made more money this year than I've done in all the years I've had it thus far. And so that was a huge success. I was like, I made, like I said, I made $10 off of Blink. I made another $10 off of what was the other one? Plug. I made $10 off of that one. I made $5 off of one. I made another $5 off of another. So all together, I just made like $20-$30, And I'm like, okay, if I could do that with just these little small companies and, saw them go up and then down and then they went up and it kind of stayed up and then it kind of dipped, but I sold them before they dipped. If I can keep doing that, I'm good. And so I think that one there, that taught me a lot of being patient, not really jumping the gun, not really selling off of fear, but sell as if you want to make something out of it and just continue to do that. And so I think next year what I might end up doing it is invest more and probably take a bigger risk and see what I could do with that and go from there. Because I got a section on my watch list where I got the higher stakes stocks. That's in its own separate category. I got about all the lower, low ball stocks. I got that in its own separate category. I got cryptocurrency. I'm not touching that because I ain't got my name balling like that. Nah, I'm straight. Yeah. But I want to invest in one of the higher stake stocks and go from there. So that's my answer.
Fair enough.
Okay. I agree. Well, I gotta start looking more into like investment YouTube and just like exploring YouTube more because I know it's a bit ironic that I'm part of this stream and I don't really like utilize YouTube too much. Like I used to like way back in the day just looking at like funny videos like on College Humor or Derek Comedy, which Donald Glover was on, like way back in the day. Then I just kind of stopped, and if something happened with my car, then I'd look up, how to fix this thing on my car. That's pretty much like or like listen to music. I wasn't really using YouTube too much, or just finding something funny. But this past year, I kind of realized like, holy crap, there's just everything on YouTube. Like, what the hell was I doing? I just was barely using this app. Just using it for like really boring things. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna start like just exploring YouTube a little bit more. But like a year where I actually did my New Year's resolution was 2015. So, like 2014, especially towards the end, was just like a super rough year. My parents were going through it. I was still living at home, and like this guy I was dating was just being a piece of shit. So, I'm the youngest of 7. And at that time, I was still an adult. I'd graduated college. I was, just working. So I was just realizing, like everybody around me is older than me, yet they just like, like I just don't really feel like anyone's like really looking out for me. But like, why should they? I'm an adult. So let me start looking out for myself and just, caring about just myself. So my New Year's resolution for 2015 was to just not give any fucks. I just ran out. Like of all the crap that was literally just going on in my life, I literally just ran out. So, like just like progressing throughout the year, it was just like, if it had anything to do with my family, if it had anything to do with friends, guys, what have you, it was just like, I got to see if, where this lines up in my fucks to give. And if this just, if it's not, then I'm just not going to give a fuck. So, I ended up getting a better job. I ended up buying my home, which I live in now.
Yes.
I started doing improvisation because I wanted to, eventually do stand up, which I did. So like, yeah, I was just really focusing on myself, just trying to see like, it's like who am I? Who is me? Like, what is it that I really like? I always think about these things, but I never pursue these things. I really need to pursue these things. So yeah, but it was a hard year, like there was, falling out with some family members, prior, and I was just like, I just gotta focus on myself. Like I don't know what else to say or do. I just have to focus on myself because, like if I don't, who will?
That's it. That's it. That's a word.
Yeah. So like I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my capabilities. I learned a lot that, you just gotta, if you have the means, of course, definitely go for it and just figure out yourself, really sit down with yourself and try to figure yourself out. It's like, what is it that I like? What is it that I want to do? It doesn't hurt to just try something. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you like it. But you don't know if you like it unless you try it.
True that.
So yeah, and do it without without any regards to anybody else. Like my mom could be very paranoid about things, so she would just kind of instill that paranoia in me. It's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go here, or maybe I shouldn't do this. So I was just like, no, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Just see it.
There you go.
Yeah. So that was 2015, and I sort of kept that vibe throughout the years. Just to do something, and because that's how you live.
Yes. Oh, go ahead, Toby.
Yeah, so I was actually taking the liberty to scroll my profile, because you can search your own like Facebook profile for different posts. So I literally searched resolution and was trying to find stuff. Yeah, they're all over the place, and I'm pretty sure I've not really kept most of them. Well, one of them was to kind of figure out. This was when I was, I think I was a junior. So it was 2014 into 2015. So January 2015, I was like, I need to figure out my research interests because I wanted to go to grad school at the time. So I was like, I need to figure out my research interests so that I could figure out what I'm doing for the summer in terms of summer research, and then apply for grad school. Really, I was trying to apply for PhD programs. So I was like, all right, bet. Actually, I had to trim my beard a little. It's a little more. Oh Lord.
There you go, L.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, mantra. Zero given. Yes.
Zero given.
Four nights. What's up? Glad for you to make it.
Not including the lady. Fair enough. Sorry, L. You're disqualified.
Nah, I can't get my beard to get that long to start braiding it. I can't do it. I tried. It don't work that way.
I do know people who've kind of done that.
Yeah, dreaded their beard. Yeah.
Yeah, or like one guy. Well, it's because also he's sick, so they don't cut their hair, and so the beard was just extremely long, so he had to tuck a lot of it back. So, but that's a different story. That's unfortunate.
Hey, this is why I got this. I can't that button. I can't get it. I tried. No shave November. Nope, couldn't do it.
The issue has always been the side beard. This always comes out fine, and then patches come out, but I can never get a full beard. But that's a whole different. There are some products I just never looked into them for hair growth. But yeah, I think I had decided to get better research interests so that I knew what I was going to be doing when I went to grad school. And I kind of figured it out, but when I was in grad school, it was all over the place. But I could say at least that year I sort of figured out more of stuff I liked, and then I applied to grad schools at the end of that year, which was also a hot mess. But at least in terms of the academics, it kind of had to work out because I was in school and I was graduating, and it was the next step. That I think that same area, fall 2014, or should I say 2014 to 15, I had said that I wanted to learn how to make. Well, one was it was more of a non-serious one, but I wanted to like binge One Piece because I had really got into anime a lot in 20. I want to say it was my first semester in college was 2012, and then I got into Naruto. I read like 400 plus chapters of Naruto that January of 2013. Which I'm not sure I recommend people do that, but that's how I spent my winter break. It was like almost 6 weeks. Like we had such a long break. So then I like did the same thing with Bleach the next year, I think. And I had a little bit of Attack on Titan. I was watching it. So I was like, I basically read a lot of Bleach. I caught up on Naruto in like an unhealthy amount of time. And then I was like, I'm gonna get into One Piece. And then I was just so daunted because it's so long. And I was just like, I can't do this right now. Like that's like 700 plus chapters. So I did not get into One Piece, but I told myself I would. It's not that important, but the more interesting one was I wanted to also get into trap. I wanted to learn how to make like trap beats or like the kind of beats that you could like, sell people and they could use it not just for like hip hop and rap, but also use in like those sort of like more EDM type trap where there's no lyrics, really, but it's just like heavy bass and like almost think of like Turn Down for What, but if there was no lyrics or other types of trap in that area where it's literally just like beats and EDM style beats, but with a heavy trap, heavy bass drop influence. And I was like, this could be interesting. I could maybe even make money, but it would be a fun little thing to do. That never happened. That just did not. But I found that I told myself I would stop being cynical as much one year, and I kind of succeeded, but that was a hard year. That was 2016. So of all years, I graduated college that May. That summer it was fun. I helped give back to like a summer bridge program in my college that I went through. So I was like a little like counselor, teaching assistant, and then my first year of grad school was a hot mess. So I had like big accomplishment, good summer, rough fall, rough election. And I was like, what the heck? So I don't think I did very well, and not being a cynical, but it was something my mom pointed out was that I would say things a lot like I hate everything, or like, family friendly. I'd be like, screw me, or like I'm dying. Like let's say I have an exam and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dying right now. People say like I'm dying or I'm dead, but like my mom would be very like, why would you speak that kind of thing into your life? And I'd be like, I don't know. I just am more likely to be like, I'm a very positive outward person, but very cynical internally. And that started to bleed a little bit. Like I didn't, I would never bring other people down, but I would very much be like about myself. I would be like, man, this situation's so bad. So I've not been great at being not cynical. Like I'm, especially like the more that you get into politics, the more unfortunately you realize how much is bad. But I feel like I found a way to channel it positively. Obviously this campaign is like upbeat, but also realistic about all the issues, and so I feel like I was able to channel that energy a little bit. But it's always hard. I feel like you kind of see your faults and you see how things have gone wrong, and you almost speak that as a defense mechanism, where it's just like, oh, why should I even try this thing, because it's probably not going to work anyway. I probably wouldn't have the time to have like a side, like pursue my interest because I'm too busy with work, or I'm too busy with XYZ. And some of those things were true, but I feel like a lot of it I could have spoken in a much better, positive way and found a real solution instead of just basically crapping on myself because maybe I was too afraid of like trying and failing.
Yeah.
So, and I think, so unfortunately not all of those were successes, but I was at least trying to like search through what are some things I said I was going to do, and then did I actually keep those goals. And there was some like, I'm gonna have to do another reevaluation, like maybe in the last few days that are left of this year, and figure out what are some of these goals that I've tried in the past that are realistic to try to push into 2021, and take it from there.
I feel you. Oh, and El, I gotta tell you one more thing too.
What's up?
Before we go. So I feel you, Doc. Dogs. You love them and you hate them. I feel you. But the one thing that I did do that I always said I wanted to do was actually go to a casino. First time went to a casino this year.
Okay.
And it was actually pretty fun. Like, I loved it. And of course, me and the missus, we went. We're like, you know what? We're in a different city. There's a casino in it. Let's go for it. We're like, okay, cool. So we went, and we're like, okay, we're only spending, I think we went with like $20, $25. We're like, okay, cool. When I tell you we left there leaving with $75, we're like, yes,
nice.
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
We made bank. And even then we went to another one within the same city. And we're like, okay, so we're not gonna spend all of that money. We're just gonna take like $20 of it, and we're just gonna go to the other one, and whatever we make out of there, we make out of there. And so from there, we went to the other one. Didn't make as much. I think we basically broke even.
Okay.
We didn't make a whole lot, but we didn't lose a whole lot. So we broke even there.
Yeah.
But it was an experience that was like, it was actually fun. It was very much fun. And we're like, we want to do it again. Of course, my brother and my sister-in-law, they were like, can you guys take us? We're like, bet. Like, you guys will have a lot of fun, because I think off of one of the machines, that's where we won the bulk of our money. Was just off of one slot machine. We won the bulk of our money. And we're like, okay, we're not gonna get lured in. We're gonna take this winning and go from there. And so what we did was however much we won off of one ticket, we used that one to go play on another one. And whatever we won from there, we used that to go play on another one. And then depending upon which one had the most, we would save the one that had the most, use the one that was the least. So at least that way, if we lost, we still had at least one ticket with money on it. So at the end of the night, we cashed them in, and again, combined with the two, it was $75. We're like, yeah, we're going back. Like, we're not going to Vegas. We're not doing that. No. No.
Yeah, I gotta be careful.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever like I've gone to a casino, but I never actually I don't think I've ever really gambled.
And go ahead, El.
No, that was just pretty much it. Because usually if I go to casinos, there's a Hard Rock casino and hotel down here. So, but they have a bunch of stuff like bars, the Improv clubs. And it's like a whole little place right there. And then there's one close to me too, and there's bars. So I don't know, you just go there to drink. It's somewhere to go because it's 24/7. They have restaurants there too. So I never really thought it's I know you can go there and gamble. I just never do. It's just
And I tell people this, and bless my wife, she's so honest. She's like, babe, she's like, I can't go in there. I'm like, watch it, because I know me, I'm compulsive. Like, well, if you stick with me, more so conservative. Like, no, if we go in with $20, we're not spending. And if we lose everything, we're not losing everything. No, we're gonna save at least the $20 that we came in with. We're saving that. Everything else, whatever. And so, it was knowing that much. We still have fun, and I say this for everybody. And yes, Bet Noir. Yes, the house always wins. Bull. So you play right, you will win. You will beat the house. You just got to know when it's time to go and go on a good streak. Because if you try to stay and win more, you will lose all that you came with plus some.
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess the times, because I was never really like interested in trying to really gamble. I feel like there's a lot of things I just never cared, like the gambling. There's like a whole lot of stuff, but I did go to a casino for the first time. I want to say, actually, not too far from where you are on. I went to I was in the conference in Detroit, and so we went to Windsor. So we didn't even go to a casino in the freaking U.S. We decided to go all the way up. We took the tunnel from Detroit to Windsor. Because we already wanted to go, a few of us. So we were like, why not just explore? And then we went to a casino. And the interesting thing about the casino in Canada was like, from what I've heard, they're usually supposed to give you free drinks in casinos, depending on the casino and the type of drink. But in Canada, at least that one, the drink wasn't free. They had like drink machines where you could just get like soft drinks. They had like an ice cream machine that was free. But if you wanted alcohol, you were gonna have to pay for it. And so then what I ended up doing, I think we didn't gamble. I didn't. I know some people were trying to do like the slots or whatever, and they took the Canadian money. They did the currency exchange to like get Canadian money, and I was like, I don't care enough. But what I did do, that was probably that was March of last year, so March 2019. Okay. What I actually ended up gambling was, there's a new casino called Encore in Boston that opened up earlier this year, I think, or no, it was definitely 2019. I think it opened up early in 2019. So I went to Encore, and it was one person who has like was having a going away party because they were leaving Mass, and it was fun. I mean, like, I was there on a Sunday night, unfortunately, so like I had work the next day and everything. So, but they were like just having fun, living their best life. I decided to join them in the roulette. So the roulette was apparently one of the better chances that you have to win, because some of them are almost like a 50% chance, or even a 51% chance, where you want the ball to basically land on, like, let's say any black or any red number or something, or odds or evens. And there are all these like combinations of things where you can get more risk if you have less of a probability of getting it. So maybe you only want, like, if there's numbers from 1 to 60, you might have numbers 1 to 20 as the option of how do you want to cash out. And of course, because you have a third of a chance, you get more of a payout. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of playing these different little games where like we were trying to figure out the best thing to do. I lost a bunch of money, but what I think the thing is, though, I lost a bunch of money, and then at the end I had like 100 that I flipped into 200. And as soon as that happened, I was like, we're done. I don't even know how much I came in with. I don't know how much I spent. I probably honestly lost a little bit of money on the net, but getting up to 100 and then taking that old 100 to 200, which was risky, and flipping it, I was like, God bless, we're going home. Like I know I lost a bunch of money already, and so getting that like 200 back in my pocket was probably like, I probably still lost like somewhere between 10 and maybe up to $50, but I was like, I don't care. We're just going like this. So a casino is an interesting one. Even though I'm not a big gambler, I would like to go to Vegas because I have some friends out there that I was supposed to be in Vegas actually this year in August, but COVID.
And I was planning on like taking my mom there for her birthday this year, but yeah.
Well, let's see. Polar. I don't know.
Oh wow.
What?
I get the question, and I would say that it may not be. I know you don't worry. I know you're joking. And I was gonna say this. I don't think he did that to make the U.S. paradise. I think he made. I think he did it that way to let the United States know that, hey, if y'all think y'all the best in the world, there's a neighbor above you that's actually doing better than what you think. That's what I think. I think of Canada and the United States as the next door as your next door neighbor who has like the best everything, but also has a very sour attitude. That's what I think. And so, yeah.
It's funny because Canadians are usually stereotyped as being really nice, though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, wait a second. They're the ones with a nice attitude. If anything, Americans. Well, I know all the
It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it, you know. And I got a couple people that live in Canada, and they tell me like it depends on where you go. Some people up in Canada, yes, they're the nicest and sweetest people that you know. There's some other people in Canada, they're just like the most ruthless, cutthroat people that you don't want to meet. And it's like, well, that kind of sounds like America too. You got parts of America where it's like, hey, come chill, come hang out, you know, get high, drink, whatever. And you got the other one that's like, don't do this, don't do that, or else your soul is going to burn in the lake of fire for all of eternity. And like, yeah, I'm just gonna stick to myself, and yeah, we'll just keep that lightly there. So,
yeah. No, I think Americans are nice overall.
Yeah. Facts.
Small in North Norway. Oh, more internationals. Wow.
Norway. Shout out to Norway. Yeah.
My island in North Norway.
Now you're in Scandinavia. Crazy. The famed, coveted Scandinavian countries.
Darn typos.
Hey, it's good. It's
good.
Good. You are good. We get it. We love talking to folks like all over. You know, this is the reason why we have the channel, and especially on Twitch, because we get it. We understand that Twitch has a wider audience than any other platform because of the fact that a lot of people just come on Twitch just to chill and hang out and talk. But man, again, shout out to Norway. You know, English, don't worry about it. You know, you do the best you can. You know, do the best you can. We'll word out the wording and everything else. But my man, shout out to you, to Norway. I know Bat Noir. I think Bat Noir is in the UK.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where did you find us, Polar Knights? Did you find the Twitch from Twitter or what platform? I'm always curious. The people who watch us, where did you actually sort of find the channel from?
Well,
and Bat Noir, I think I may have asked before, but did you find us from Twitter? I can't remember.
I know that Bat Noir was on. He was following Mindful Skeptics, and I was on that episode.
Yes, yes. That was it. Which is cool because Mindful Skeptics has some pretty cool videos too.
That's cool.
African she is. Oh, that reminds me of
Tiffany Haddish.
You said Tiffany Haddish?
I mean, Tiffany Haddish is like half Eritrean.
Oh, snap! I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think her dad is from there. That's pretty cool.
It was another friend of mine who I met from Instagram, and we keep in contact. Yeah. And she actually is from Eritrea, but she lives in I believe in Sweden. So it's interesting seeing like there are these communities that end up being yes.
Yeah.
I was just browsing. Oh snap. Oh. That's cool. I don't know how big our reach was on Twitch. Like, I don't use Twitch, so I personally don't really know how people find a lot of channels like that.
Toby, Twitch is huge. I mean, Twitch is huge. Twitch has a lot of viewers from all over. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody on Mars was just browsing there, just like, hey, what up? I'm from Mars. Like, what? There's life on Mars. NASA, you suck.
George found it first.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Real down to Mars.
And the beard.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
This
Look
is
at that.
you. Yes, this is for you.
Good.
And again, I got my beads too. So I got my black one. I got the gold one. I got the silver one. Yeah, I came prepared. I'm like, I'm doing it today.
Oh, nice. I don't have anything that's New Year's Eve.
You got that blouse in that
I
little.
mean, yeah, but it's not like a particular like New Year's Eve blouse. It's just a blouse that's like fancy. It's like has like some goldish specks if you can see.
Hey, look at that.
Okay, look at that. Yeah, you do. You look like you could like go out somewhere. You got.
Yeah.
We just like.
That's a new shirt. So.
Look, you like go out there and break a leg. Bam. There you go. There you go. Let's see. What dream projects do you have that money was? Ooh.
I have a lot of projects.
Okay, how many? Okay, Matt, how many can we name? How many can we name?
That's a hard one.
I got a few. And let's see. Let me.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess so. It's true. Thank you.
There you go.
New Year's Eve.
Bam.
Yeah, it works out. I don't, because I feel like I've had different hobbies and I've just like fallen off a lot of them as I was going through school, going to the next step, undergrad to grad school. Then I sort of like left grad school to work, and then I just haven't had my head up. I haven't had bruv. That's how you know you're from the UK.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
So man. Yeah, I don't necessarily have a dream project right now. There are some interesting things, like getting into comedy would be interesting, but like everyone thinks they're funny until you like. Anyway, right? We're not going to be cynical, right? We're gonna speak positivity.
No, I mean you're just being right though, and like saying that you're gonna go into comedy doing stand up, like you have to be cynical. That's the sad part. Like you have to be. It's hard. It's hard to do stand up. Hard mentally.
Yeah. And I also played the violin a long time ago. So and that's a cool one. And I'm actually
What is
Oh wow. So I see Nigerian National Petroleum. No, that can't be it.
Yeah, Polar Nights. What does NNPC stand for? So we're not Googling the wrong thing.
Yeah. Kick us some knowledge. We the type of channel where it's like we dish it, but we also we like to receive it too.
Is it the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation? Oh, typo. Okay.
Like I said, just you know.
Yeah.
And I used to play the violin when I was younger, and like I've seen people. There was a guy named I think Demola violin. DEMOLA, and he's like a Nigerian, I think Nigerian American maybe, violinist who actually he was actually born in Nigeria, and he basically does like hip hop, R&B, and a lot of different covers. And I saw him in when I was in upstate New York. It was a little bit pricey, but it was very small turnout. It was very fancy white. I'll have to probably post the videos on my Twitter because I did save the videos of the performance of a lot of them. And he was just going in. He was playing all these songs. This was in 2017. So I know Despacito was big. Wild Thoughts was big. There was like a whole lot of different songs. And I feel like it would be cool to like relearn violin and be able to do some of these cool like covers, maybe some Afro beats or some Caribbean songs. That would be like, I think there's a lot in entertainment that I would be like, if I could like unleash my creativity. Oh, snap.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, Matt is in the house. Matt,
Another legend.
Lord.
Another legend.
Get it. Yes. What's good?
Yeah. That's a great question, though. That's actually a great one for Twitter. We could like set off a little chain of what would y'all do? What's your dream goals if you had all the money in the world and the time? And just kind of, it helps you kind of think about what you actually want to do and not just what you kind of do for survival. Because I've been so not, what's the word? I've not been able to focus very much on like the cool, fun things. I do things that help me get me through the days and the weeks. But nothing super inspirational, super like aspirational. So that is like a big, big question of what are the things, having my own business would be interesting, being able to do more things on the side. But even then, I still feel like, I don't know, what's my potential being used for? It's a huge question. In 2020 made me like do all these like reevaluations. I had like a whole midlife crisis because I turned 25 in March. So not sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. Thank you. I always said it, quarter life crisis, and it's like, oh man. So I'll have to get back to you on some of the big ones, but I'll let you too.
Whoa, Polar. Hold on.
Oh,
hold on. We got you, homie. We got you. Hold on. L, you want to go as far as what the original question?
Yeah, what was the original question?
No.
Problem. Like, what would you do?
There we go.
Continue working on, or just try to make like the ideas I have in my head come to life. Try to be more green, more eco-friendly. Try to find, ways to make restaurants and companies be more eco-friendly. I have app ideas. Some I kind of write about or try to design. Like do like wireframing for them. I write a lot, so just try to I write like comedy sketches, like sketch comedy. So I try to make those come to life. So I guess continuing what I'm doing. I guess if money was no problem, another dream project would to maybe buy out an apartment complex and rent it out.
There you go.
An apartment complex. So yeah, I guess like if something that's totally out of my reach because of money, of a dream, that would be it. So I could just kind of live off of renting owning an apartment complex. But everything else I'm sort of at least working on or trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Or just try to make the world more green.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give you two. Because you said 2 or 3, bro. I'm like, okay, I got you. So the first one would be to renovate like rundown houses, flip them, and rent them out with the option of the tenant to buy it and have it as their own. Do it that way. And in that way, that will be a way for them to have and keep generational wealth in their family, because understanding that how the housing market in itself, depending on where you're at, some places is good, some places not so good. But to be able to kind of like buy homes, get them renovated so that they're up to date, that they don't have to worry about anything. Everything is up to date, up to go. And if they want to add more to it, or hey, what can I do? Do I have the option to buy it? Like, yes, go for it. We'll set up we'll do a whole different contract and everything else. We'll set it up to the point where once this house is paid off, that's yours. You do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want with it. That's yours. That's probably like the one thing I wanted to do. that's probably one project. The other project that I wouldn't mind doing is finding like Black-owned businesses and invest the stew out of them, and keep them afloat, keep them going, and maybe network and get like different like app designers, web designers. So there's a website or domain where all of the Black-owned businesses can go into and network with each other, collaborate with each other, and flood the market in ways that just like, here's you need $100,000 to do this, boom. And not just do it as a check. Oh no. We're not doing like that, takes too long. Like, that's cash. Don't worry, it's legit. Just got it from the bank. I'm off to do another investment, and do it that way so people can understand and realize like there's people willing to invest in you as long as you're doing something positive and great and empowering your community. That's the key. You got to be empowering your community. And if you're not doing that, you ain't getting squat. That's just how I roll. You ain't doing that. If you're not doing anything to uplift your community, you ain't getting squat. Flat out. So that's that. Now, the next question. Because Polar,
those are all awesome. Like,
yeah,
no, those are things that like I've definitely thought of. Like, those are great.
Guys, this one here. How is it to be African American in the USA? Boy, bruh.
That reminds me of that question from Get Out. Like, how was your African American experience or something like that? When they were like trying to pretty much interview the black dude. I forgot his name in the movie, but Daniel Kaluuya, I think his name is. Like the Asian guy came up to him and was like, how was the African American experience?
Oh, was it at the like family?
Yeah,
the family gathering.
Yeah, like right before like they bet him off, or like they were just interviewing before they bet on him.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I need to rewatch because I only watched that movie once, and it would be good to rewatch.
Yeah, that was really good.
Let's
Dark
see.
Tank.
Dark, yeah. All right. Let's see. Polar Night. That might be an episode that we could talk about if we haven't talked about it already.
Mm-hmm.
But just to kind of give you a snapshot, like a really snapshot, it truly does. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It truly does depend where you live at in the United States. It does. If you're living like in the South, and we're talking about like Mississippi, Alabama, some parts of Georgia, some parts of Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, like those deep southern states, it could be pretty hard. It could be pretty hard. And I mean, it's doable, but it could be pretty hard. If you're living in the northern states, like I live in Michigan, New York, we could say Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. It depends. It depends on the area. I think, Toby, you live in Mass, Maryland.
Yeah, the two.
Between the two. It depends. It depends because there's some parts of the United States it's cool if you're black and you live in there, and then there's other parts where it's like, it could be better. It could be better. Like that, like especially down south, it could be better. It could be better. I've read articles where they're still dealing with voter suppression at an all-time high. They're still dealing with that. It's 2020. You think you would be over this? No. Like there's there was a city in Mississippi, if I recall this correctly. There's a city in Mississippi. They've had their first mayor in like centuries. That's how long it's been. It's been centuries since they had somebody that was not white as an elected official, and even then, it was a struggle for that person to get in because they were trying to kick them out. And even still, you know, there's people that are getting out that are having a hard time registering to vote because the laws that have been made in those states, it makes it almost impossible for them to get their rights back to vote. And again, it's one of those things where it will take an episode to talk about, but at the same time, like I said, it truly does depend where you live in the United States. It does. It really does.
And yeah, there's like so many different perspectives. Like it's like a wide ranging thing where talking about being black in the US, being African American, and that is its own thing too, of like the terms. Like you mentioned why I use the word African. I mean, what I could say is that we didn't really choose most of these terms to describe ourselves.
Like white people chose it to make themselves feel better. The same thing with Native Americans.
Same thing to say. Same. Most of these people called themselves whatever. You were from your ethnic group. You were from your country. You had your religious, you know, sort of background, and then someone somewhere decided that we should call them. Well, it wasn't even just African American. You had black. You had colored. That was the big one. So, you know, it kind of wasn't like our labeling, so which is annoying when I hear like, not you, but I've heard some other people be like, why are black people are the only people in the U.S. who call themselves African American? You don't hear Latino people doing that. You don't hear like Indian American, like Asian Americans. And yeah, that is a term too. So I don't know why he was going off about all this. A friend of mine who was Indian, like born in America, but his family was from India, and he was telling me all his grievances about black people. Basically, it was a very weird conversation, like 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. But I would say that yeah, the African thing is interesting because like, you know, I actually, you know, my parents are African, and so like, what do I mean, I can call myself Nigerian American, but like if you want to talk about being broadly African, then it's like I don't really know how to say that because African American is already a term a lot of people use, but most of us actually just say black, right? Like the African American is often what you see as a description, like unfortunately, like police reports or like something very formal where it's like African American. But most people you're gonna hear black.
Yeah, I definitely don't like the term African American. Like I don't hate it. It's just a mouthful. I feel, you know, and like when you're reading it, it could just be like you see something that says 30% of the classroom was white, 20% was African American. It's like, why did you say white and then African American? You know, it just didn't seem consistent. So you should have just said black. Also,
Caucasian.
Yeah, but it's just also because I've never been to Africa. My parents aren't never been to Africa or know their roots. My grandparents, I'm sure, don't know their roots. And probably not even my great-grandparents know their African roots. So it's just sort of weird to say, you know, like African Americans. Like, yeah, I know that I originated from Africa. You know, like that's the Black people factory. That's where we all come from. But it's just sort of like, I don't know. Like I like my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents are Jamaican. And Scottish, but it's just sort of, you know, it's like, why not just call me Jamaican American or American because I was born here. Just, I don't know.
Oh, cool. You know, I wanted to ask low key where you're from, but you know, that's cool. Are you I guess if you don't mind me asking, like Black South African, like African, or it's the I guess white South African?
Yeah, I was gonna say white South African.
Because I know both. I know people who are both. Like one guy who's like very much Black South African, and then another one who was like an administrator at my university, and he was white South African. And it's just interesting seeing different types of people like that. And I was also going to ask you, Polar Knights, because you mentioned your girlfriend's Eritrean. Are you yourself African, black, or are you like not something else? I guess you're white European. Yeah. I'm just curious because like I know that the diaspora is so like interesting when I see Black and African people in other countries, especially like European countries. And then if you're in other places, then that's also kind of crazy. But it's always just interesting, kind of connecting more with other people, outside of pale whiteism.
That Noir's pale white.
Well, we're glad you're here either way. Glad you're here.
Hold on.
I'm dead.
Ouch. Ow.
God dang.
But hey, it's all love. You want to get love from here, so you're good. You are good. You are good. I mean, thank you guys for the discussion. This is like what we do. This is what we do. And so, you bring up a really good point as far as the labeling goes, and it's like, it's been around. And looking back at my history classes that I took in college, a lot of it was more so for control per se. It was more so of a way to like identify other individuals because of the fact that it was a way to kind of determine where power lied, if that makes sense, And so from there, since it's been ingrained since the early colonial times, it just stuck. And even then, trying to change it, is basically trying to say that the identity of one is more than what their skin color is. Like I tell people, like, even though yes, I may look black, but my genetic makeup is all over the place. I have an aunt in California who's been breaking everything down, and she's like, we're not just from Africa. She said, no, we have Mexican in us, like Mexican. We have Apache tribes in us, especially from my dad, my dad's side of the family. My grandfather was one of those ones that was a direct descendant of Geronimo. So we have that going on. We have Scottish. We just found out that we got some Scottish in us. And again, my last name is not typical, it's French, and so we got some French in us as well. And it's like all these things is in me, but the complexion of my skin says something totally different. But at the same time, I remember growing up getting my hair cut. And the barbers were baffled because my hair wasn't that traditional nappy hair. It was like very silky, very fine. And they're like, well, okay, we know that you're black, but your hair says something totally different, because when we cut most young black kids' hair, it's nappy. We cut yours, it's not. And they asked my mom. My mom's like, well, all I can tell you is that on their dad's side, they got a lot of Apache, a lot of Mexican in them. A lot. And that's probably where it came from. And they kind of sat there, they thought about it like, yeah, you're about right. They got pretty hair as it is anyway. So, okay, but still, even to this day now, like when I'm not wearing a hat and I go out in public and they see my hair, especially like black people, they see my hair like, you're not black. Like, what are you? Like, what's your makeup? And I tell them, they're like, for real? Like, yeah, I don't do much to it. I slap on some 360 style pomade. It's in a little blue can next to the Murray's, and then I brush my hair in the way I want my hair to go. I slap on a do-rag for like 20, 30 minutes. I take that bad boy off, and voila. No chemicals needed, except for the shampoo and the conditioner. Other than that, that's it. That's it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
again, that's it. That's all I tell them. And they just kind of sat there and looked back for like, really? Like, yeah. So
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of diversity within the Black community, and it's hard just because America is that's just how it is. That's how it was formed. And for better or for worse, we are under one umbrella. And actually the Black umbrella has been talked. Yes.
respect.
100%.
Just saying. Just say get a good look. Yeah.
Oh yes. Do it up. Now, yeah, hair. I mean, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to hair. That'll probably have to be in a few months, where we can have a nice conversation about it. Because Lord knows my hair is the longest it's ever been, and it's been like not as like it's. I mean, I recently got literally just days ago. I got like trims and everything, but oh Lord, the you ain't black. I have so many.
Oh yes. If your hair ain't nappy, you ain't black. Well, according to Joe Biden 2020, no disrespect, sir. We know you won, but the joke is, if we ain't vote for you, we ain't black. Well, my hair ain't nappy, so obviously that must mean I ain't black. Then what am I, sir? Please tell me, what am I?
Tell me.
What am I?
Yeah, and for some of you newer followers, we did have an episode. I think actually, was it? It might have been our first episode. There was our first MCOY episode where we basically discussed Biden's comments. Problematic.
Oh, yeah.
It was way back. It was early June or late May, I think. Actually, I think it was late May, and we were basically like, "This is a trend where Democrats, especially some of these old, let's be real, older white Democrats, and these people are just like very loose-lipped, and they're just used to talking however, and they feel like they can take, the community for granted, and there's almost like too comfortability where it's just like, now wait 1 second, like, yeah, black people overwhelmingly were voting Democratic, but it was just something that you really should not say like that. For many, it wasn't good. So if you want to hear our thoughts on it back then, scroll down at the bottom of the YouTube list, or YouTube, because this was before we used Twitch, and Periscope. So
yeah, this is like early on. So
yeah, and for Polar Knights and everyone else who is on Twitch, you look at Melanated Council of Yang, or if you even on YouTube, I think even like the description of Twitch might have some of our other. I don't know if it does, but we should link them all if they are, find it.
My hair.
I'll go look. Oh, you subscribed? What? Yes. Go Polar. Nice.
Okay, nice.
Wait, what?
Even if you're like even if you are a Twitch Prime subscriber, that's worse. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Oh wait, much. I don't see anything in the chat. If something.
Yeah, I don't.
No, it's on Twitch. It's on Twitch.
Okay.
It's on Twitch.
Okay, gotcha. I was confused.
It's on Twitch.
Oh yeah, subscribing, because that was, I remember when there was the whole Sky banking where it was like, let's get the Yang stream and let's subscribe. I know that's obviously subscribing is a general Twitch thing, but that's an interesting like idea too, where it's like, I know that Matt Skidmore show, many of these shows, they have their sort of premium YouTube, their premium YouTube subscription. So there's definitely we could talk definitely about what to do with like getting people to subscribe and what kind of things are we going to give out.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Much love. And yes, I did look on the Twitch channel. The link to our YouTube page is in there. It's in there. So if you go to our About page and you hit the Melanated Council of Yang YouTube channel, you click there, it's going to send you to our Facebook page. So you're there.
Or
you're there. Not our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. So if you go to the Melanated Council of Yang YouTube, you click on that link, it'll take you to our YouTube channel. And likewise, the link to Twitter That's on there. It'll take you to our Twitter page as well. So, boom. We are rocking and rolling. Woo, 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 woo.
Hey, what's up?
Yes.
Yes.
Matt, listen, we gonna do this. We gonna do this in one of these days. Matter of fact, you guys, quick pause. Shout out to the Matt Skidmore show too, because he was one of the very first people that brought us on to help us push our channel. So Matt, shout out to you, sir. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you so much. We thank you so much.
Yes.
Because if it hadn't been for you, James and Heidi, we wouldn't be here now. So we thank you for just having us on there, even for that one time. But dude, we gotta hook up. George
K. Hey. People always love coming on in the end, and honestly, I'm here for it. It's just funny. Whenever the black stream, we were like, oh, every possible podcaster is on here right now. Tom, Mindful Skeptics, obviously Trumper. It's great. I do think that YouTube, we have like 400, maybe 80 something. Maybe we even got more than that now. So when we hit the 500 mark, we're like halfway to 1,000. I'm glad that our Twitter account hit 1,000. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, and I was like,
I think we're 10 now.
Yes. So 1,010. I like it. 1010. Nice little binary number.
Yes. So Matt, 2021, dude, let's get all the gang YouTube channels, podcasts together. We got to do something. I'm on board. Yeah. I'm on board. We already put down the gauntlet. We want to start doing more collabs. So Matt,
100%.
Let us know. We're gonna ride up on you.
Yeah. And another big one is Politicon. So normally Politicon happens, like I know 2019 was a big year for Politicon because you had the primary for 2020. 2020, of course, was not a big year for Politicon because COVID, but 2021 Politicon might happen. I don't know when. It looks like it happens in the fall, so maybe October of 2021 if they can actually get stuff open. I think it would be really interesting if there is like a Humanity Forward, but also like just Yang Gang, as many people, as many streamers and people want to come. It would be a great chance to have like a physical, real life presence of the Yang Gang and anyone else sort of affiliated, like Hill of Roses people, basically everyone. I think Politicon would be a great chance to have some in-person engagement. But obviously we also have our own virtual sessions. Like I love that roundtable that Dennis did. And like that just was like, yo, this is awesome to see so many voices. So absolutely would like to, it would be cool to talk with basically everyone to all the different channels and be able to come on and discuss things. So
yes, got the Twitch follow. Yes.
Hey.
2021 is going to be awesome. I'm claiming that now. 2021 is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's definitely going to be better than 2020, at least.
Yes.
No, that one, Polar. No, that was, we were supposed to be like ugly sweater. I didn't have one.
Oh.
So it was like, okay, I'm going to just find a green shirt that's like Christmassy and boom. There it goes.
Yeah, I forgot what I wore. I think I wore something that was bluish, maybe, but yeah, because we were not existing as a YouTube channel St. Patrick's Day, which is so. This is going to be fun. I'll give y'all a little sneak peek since this is the 2020 wrap up. Black History Month is going to be full of some great things. Make sure you buckle in for all of February because you're going to be relearning the history that was taught probably incorrectly and whitewashed. So Black History Month will be fun because we get to like really dig deep into some characters, including our boy MLK, who we already know, supported stuff like UBI. January, should we talk about it right now briefly, or do we just want to announce it on Twitter what we're doing for most of January?
Maybe we should announce it on Twitter.
Okay.
However,
keep buckled in.
What's up, Ron?
We got to drop a disclaimer. We got to drop it. We got to drop a disclaimer. Buckle up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
We're literally next week. We're not like holding back any punches. The topics are going to be pretty strong. Let's call it heavy topics.
Yeah.
Topic. So pretty heavy stuff, but it'll be very, we'll have our positive vibes. We're just going to be talking about some stuff. So just be prepared. This is all I can say for January, February, especially those 2 months.
Yeah.
We're going to hit 2021. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to keep building and educating and just learning. We learn a lot just by being here too. So
yes. Damn. Work on the radio?
Oh no, really? I appreciate that. No, I don't. I should buy the podcast mic. Like, I know when Roberto was doing his thing and when he was talking in the mic, I was like, oh my gosh, Roberto, like this is like you have like a made for podcast voice. Like I've not really thought about having my own thing because Lord knows what I would talk about. I've never done radio. I've never really done those kind of broadcasts. So I appreciate it. I guess that gives me some ideas then. If I got it, I might as well use it, right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Come on. All right, you guys. It's been fun. It's been real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we gotta go and everything else. Again, thank you guys for stopping by and helping us help you bring in the New Year's. As always, follow the channels, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. If you use Twitter, follow Twitter. If you don't, that's okay. If you're on Twitch, we're on there as well. I did get an update that Periscope will be going away.
Yes.
But it's going to get converted over to Twitter as it is anyway. So,
okay.
It'll work out. So follow us there. And 24-hour pod. Here we go again.
Ready for that, Toby?
Oh, Lord. I guess.
Yes.
Hey.
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 Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
I was gonna say if we can't use Periscope, we're gonna have to find a third platform to stream on. But Twitter, maybe if Periscope is getting integrated to Twitter, then maybe that's
stay there.
But otherwise, I'm down to look at like Facebook or something else.
Yeah. Oh, Yang Yang Book Club.
Oh, nice. Woo.
Oh yes.
Woo.
Oh yeah. Actually, a big shout out to them because they also in the beginning they were sharing stuff. They were very excited to talk about different, Black books that were relevant to sort of Black experience. So Yang Gang Book Club, I've been off Twitter honestly a lot, but I know that they do a lot of good stuff. So Yang Gang Book Club, Yang Gang Fitness, they've been pretty cool as well.
Yes.
Everything that was born out of 2020, out of like the ashes and the darkness, like a huge shout out to all of you because you've taken a dark time and made it creative and uplifting.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we do in the Yang Gang, though. We're definitely creative. We know how to be creative and create something out of supposedly nothing. Like
we love you too. Oh,
yes.
Hope you guys. Yes. Oh,
100%.
Yes. We gotta go because if we talk any more longer,
it'll be midnight.
I know.
Because we are on the East Coast, at least the three of us.
Yeah.
So it actually is 11:30 plus p.m.
Yes. All right, you guys. We gotta go. We will catch you guys next week. Same time, same channel. Probably the same goofy three. We love you guys. Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy
we
New
love
Year.
you.
Happy New Year.
Safe. Please
do
us all a favor. Be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Midnight is the chariot
turning into a pumpkin.
Hey.
That's the time the chariot turns into a pumpkin.
Hey.
It's like
turn into a pumpkin for you guys.
Pumpkin L.
Pumpkin spice.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh. Yes. All right. We got to go. We will catch you guys next week. We love you. We will see you guys later. Peace.
Join us.